Um, we'll get to some of your passions and fun, but one of the key ones is cars. You love driving cars. I think how many cars do you have?
I'm a Saeed al-Tayr from the Tayr Motors called the serial Range Rover buyer. But I was disappointed with the latest edition. And I believe so was His Highness. There was a big PR about the first Range Rover was Sheikh Mohammed's, but you're never going to see him drive one anymore because the same disappointment in that car was the same disappointment that made him stop, I think, 15 years ago. But my disappointment was, it's as if we went back 4 years ago and they increased the price. I didn't see the oomph in it, so I went for the SLS Gullwing. And really, I went for the SLS Gullwing because the noose or the leash on my neck from my father and family doesn't exist anymore. So I got what I like. And the SLS is there, and the Autodrome is there, the Yas Island is there. It's just I didn't have the time to really utilize it. The other car, believe it or not, you'll see it on TV soon, is a Mini Cooper. And I did an interview with Dubai TV, the Arabic Dubai TV. I did not know it was more than an interview. It was also some shots, me walking. And after walking out of Almas. And when walking Almas, she got into my car. And to my luck, it was one of those days where I did not want to take out my SLS out and put that car and then go out. Because I am always in a rush, as you can see in the papers, as you can see at work. So it's about convenience. If these cars were parked next to each other, I might have got one day SLS. It should have been the SLS that day, but my luck, the camera is recording me getting into a Mini Cooper and moving out. It's not, I don't feel any shame about it. I don't care. But then we went to the park area and the JLT1 building area. But coming about passion for cars, you can ask, as he likes to be called, my young brother, Sultan Bin Sulayem. He refuses to acknowledge me as a father, as his son. I guess it's the goatee that makes him look a bit younger. Sabs made sure that the car dealership that my uncle works on, Bin Sulayem Performance, his rallies, everything are off limits for me. Anything related to cars, in case I get addicted and he has another problem, because he worked with his brothers as his sons, and really it took a toll on him with my uncle Muhammad. He's a very, very difficult person when he was young, as he grew up, and maybe more so now. So my father did not want to experience that, so I never got to see the dealership. And whenever I did, I had to sneak into it. I had to go into his, he has over 220 Cadillacs. I don't know why he collects Cadillacs for some reason. So when I got the CTS Coupe and branded it with DMCC, I had it in the motor show for 3 days, 4 days. Hilal Murri was kind enough to give me a spot. It's one car, so I had it between Bugatti and Ferrari. It was right after a criticism from my father saying, not a lot of people in the local community know about DMCC. I scratched my head. I'm like, but they're not in the commodities industry. How would they care? How would they get the message? Camels, Falcons? I said, cars. All locals like cars here, regardless. So I branded the car, put it between Ferrari and Bugatti, and had Hilal Murri put all his branding all over JLT and Almas Tower, wherever it's our area. And I bought the car myself and branded it. And I didn't stop there. I'm a greedy man, as you can see. I put the car on display in Mall of the Emirates between Harvey Nickel and Debenhams. A lot of exposure happened. When we put in the magazines, coincidentally, I was on the cover of those magazines. Some of them have run out, so we paid the money to print some more, and they were disappearing. The next year, or recently, and this is really nothing to do with DMCC. This was really from all the Kobe haters and nothing to do with Kobe's visit. For the life of me, I could not believe Kobe would come. The last Laker I saw was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And he looked very weird to me because everyone was a giant. And there was this Kandora that doesn't end. I didn't see his face, actually. I just saw something dark, and I guess I got that. I just stopped looking because my head would flip up. In any case, this is during when Muhammad Ali in his heydays was visiting Dubai. So there's a lot of Laker fans, but just as much as there are Laker fans, there are a lot of people who hate the Lakers, especially Kobe, because he's beaten Magic, he's beaten Jordan, and the scoring points, I told him, play 5. He's asked me, what should I do for my future? I told him, well, You want an honest answer? He said, of course, Ahmed. Well, sign 5 more years with the Lakers. You can't go wrong with that. No, I've played 17 years. It's signed 5 more years. What do I get? A few rings. You break more records. You're talking about Michael Jordan's record? I said, yeah. He said, that's 6 games away. So what? Keep breaking more so nobody comes close to you. I played for 17 years. I said you joined when you were 16, so that's 4 years of college. That's 14 years, not 17 years. But in any case, before that, hey, I had this Lebanese, why is it always Lebanese people that influence me? I don't know. Lebanese Kobe hater who just hates Kobe because he just bursts his bubble all the time of reality. So 81 points in 1 game, less than four quarters. Nobody's going to do that, especially at the guard position. Kept on talking about Kobe as if Kobe is some kind of failure. How could you be a failure if you get to the finals 7 times and get the championship 5 times and you break? Anyway, I won't get into the argument. But after a lot of nagging, I got upset. And then Kobe actually said the scariest words that I would hear as a Laker fan. This summer I'll wake up and I'll figure out whether I'm retired or if I want to play more. I'm like, hell no. I worked on an ad to convince Kobe not to retire. I thought of different words and things like that and records, things that he cares about. Then something happened and he snapped his Achilles heels. And from his tweets you can see that he's not going out like that. He's going to play a few more years. So I thought for like a day and a half, I don't need to put that. Then I said, you know what? No athlete, not just basketball player, got a full-page ad from a fan. Maybe that's one up on Jordan and the rest who they keep comparing. So I put an ad and it starts with Carpe Diem. Kobe speaks 6 or 7 languages. Carpe Diem means seize the moment, and that's pretty much what DMCC does, seizes the moment as well. And I do know how uptight Kobe is about priorities and patencies and all that, so there's no picture of Kobe. There are just the colors. Nobody has patencies on colors. And it said, I believe, if I recall correctly, here's to Kobe, here's to the man who won't lie down, here's to the man that will come back. And at the end, Brand and Brash, there were like 3 options. I mixed and matched and put them together with what I liked. At the end, they had here's to the Black Mamba mentality, but to piss off the Kobe haters, I like to really stir it up, so here's to the greatest of all time. It was supposed to be like a letter and me signing it. Instead of signing it, I put my Twitter account. That's my signature, electronic signature, my Twitter. And then DMCC website, the Expo 2020 branding, and DMCC branding. That's from me. When I asked the CEO of DGCX which one was a better branding for DMCC, the hard work I went through for the car or the LA Times ad, full color? He said, hands down, the LA Times. I said, but I worked really hard for the car. The LA Times, just a check and some papers and all that, that was much faster. I was running against time with the motor show and all this. But he said, that hit the spot because it was too random for everyone. And then coincidentally, he did come, but he's been trying to come to Dubai for 2 years, especially during the lockout. He actually doesn't call Dubai, Dubai. He calls it Dubai. And all of the conferences he wanted to be in, press conferences, he wanted to wear a Kandora while here. That's how international Kobe Bryant is. And that's what I respect about him, the consistency, no distractions. No distractions, not even for 2 minutes, no distractions. He does his best not to be distracted. Everything he does, he takes it very serious. Charity game, he's still playing like as if it's the final. Pre-game, like it's the final. So everything, he takes it very serious.
He's like one of your mentors in terms of his performance and his perfection.
No, we're the same age, so you can't say that.
No, why not?
You can't say that. So
Okay.
there's Jordan, but Jordan is not always focused on the game. Jordan had Pippen. Jordan.
But he flies. But Jordan flies. He's air.
Did you see Kobe's dunks? Kobe flies and zooms down, like Street Fighter. But no, Jordan took 8 years to get to the finals or more because of the Detroit Pistons. They didn't allow him. So whether the Lakers won or Detroit won, they had a problem with the bad boys. Kobe did not have a problem. Kobe had a problem with the alpha male in the roster. And I think that's changing now at this age and at this time of his career.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ahmed has been very kind to sort of say he'll take any questions from the audience. So
For as long as it goes. Doesn't matter how tired the MC gets.
doesn't matter how tired he is. So why don't we, yes, my friend.
UHY.
Yeah. He has to ask the first question. Please go.
He's an auditor.
Exactly.
He's an auditor.
Your Excellency, thank you for coming. It's been wonderful. My question is this. Currently, the Emiratis are 8% of the population. And in 15 years, you could be 1% of the population. Is that an opportunity that you particularly like? And how are you going to deal with it?
Well, when you ask me that question, I think about the Red Indians and Aborigines in Australia, and I say, thank God. Thank God for everything. They're 8%, but yet, you know, in this culture, we can marry 4 wives, have lots of kids, if that's what you're alluding to. But for me, the thought of getting married scares me a lot. And it's not because I don't want to take matters seriously, but if I take risks and go after, take risks in everything, you know, sports, whatever, even conversations, you know, if someone, usually people, if someone hears something that's incorrect, they politely say, you know, nod their head. I actually bring the evidence and say, why'd you lie about that? Doesn't matter what meeting, publicly. So coming back to your point about that, I think there's a challenge that's beyond your question. And that's only on the Emiratis, has nothing to do with the expats. We love the expats being here. It saves us travel from going around the world, from learning and experiencing. The expats being here is very important, the expats community, as far as I'm concerned. And, you know, if it wasn't the case, why would we bid for Expo 2020 then? Why would we bid for that? But coming back to what us Emiratis, I'll talk about me, it's not a reflection of everyone. Some people say, get married and see what happens. There's no way I think that way. Some people have 4 wives with 4 exact houses, 4 exact cars, and they say they treat them exactly the same, which I doubt, but it's mentioned in the Quran, but I think it's an impossible situation. But there is Abdel Gharir, 4 exact houses, 4 wives, great kids, great role model. Abdel Ghaffar Hussein, great role model. Mohammed Abbas, great role model as well. Marriage is really something that happens. Bringing kids and all that, that just happens. It's not in our hands. My problem in that is basically, I'm happy to try something and give it my best and fail. It's okay. But not when it comes to letting down a mother and a child. I'd rather die 10 times before even that starts happening. So that's the problem I have. It's not lack of confidence. It's just that it's getting the right fit. So I don't know about the rest of the Emiratis, and I can't really explain to you why the percentage of divorce today is over 55% in the UAE, in the Emirati community. I think there is Ms. Al-Uta who handles these matters, and she can explain more about that. But as far as population, I don't know. I mean, whatever you recommend. We're up. I don't know how to answer that. I'm into commodities, not breeding.
It's more a question of.
Do I see the expats as risks? No, I don't.
No, I don't think it's about risk. I think it's.
He said 1%. People might get scared.
It's about priorities. Going really, really fast.
I mean, expats can marry 4 wives. They can't. We can. So maybe. I know, that's a big nightmare. I was trying to avoid the mother-in-law nightmare. But you had to bring it up, did you?
Any other questions? Just one question? My God, I can't believe this. You're stunned, please. Yeah. There's a mic behind you.
When you'd like to retire?
When would you say it again?
When you'd like to get retired?
I got the question. Perfect time for me to retire is when I'm 6 feet under. You never retire. Otherwise, that's not life. That whole story of retire and live your pension is foreign in my head. It's completely foreign. I remember a scene in a movie called Gattaca. Have you seen it?
Maybe it's little.
It's about 2 brothers. And it's about the time and age, which reminds me of the question of Mr. UHY over there. It's the branding. I'm not going to call you by your name. I'm going to call you by your company. It's about the time where, in the future, where people are not allowed to conceive children unless the DNA is perfect. But one of the brothers, played by Ethan Hawke, was not really a mistake, but in that time was a mistake at the back of the seat of a car. So he was born and he had to blend in. He even, I think in the movie, cut through his chin to make himself a bit taller and take an identity of another man who was hiding, played by Jude Law. In any case, his brother is the police, head of police, and he wants to go to this place called Gattaca, I guess, or the ship is called Gattaca. And he had to earn his keep. But it's not possible because the DNA don't match. DNA is not what fits everybody. All their DNA has been played with, or they had to, anyone that needs to get married, this is not arranged marriage, this is beyond arranged marriage. Their DNA has to produce good breeds. So he gave it his all. And at one stage his brother catches him. And they used to always race, swim race. His brother beats him because his heart rate is weaker. So he said, look, rather than take me to jail right now, if I beat you on that swimming contest that we used to have as kids, would you let me go? And the brother said, you can't beat me. He said, well, if I do, if you do, I don't even know, I don't even see you. You go wherever you want. And they swam. I think it was a bit of a storm, rain and all that, but they kept on swimming. His brother is fit, he looks like the Terminator. And Ethan Hawke looks like he's today, skinny and really fit his role. And kept on swimming. And his brother kept on saying, stop, you're going to kill yourself. And he kept on swimming. He said, what, are you afraid? And he kept on swimming. And he said, his brother kept on swimming, but he said, you're mad. Stop. He said, I am beating you. Stop bringing excuses. So he kept on going. Until his brother, who is fitter, who has everything in place, starts drowning. Ethan Hawke is himself, I don't know the name of the character in the movie, is actually shocked. So he had to dive to get his brother out. And he pulled him to the beach, and he's alive, and he asked the question, how did you beat me? And the answer is exactly the answer to your question, when do I retire? He told him, I left nothing for the swim back. When you go for work or gym, you make sure you leave nothing in your tank. That applies to work, life, and gym.
And it means that you are supporting the people they are working. It means that you are supporting the people they are working up to 80 years, 85 years, and fighting with a life like that.
Queen Elizabeth is the biggest example. She didn't abdicate yet.
You need an example?
Queen Elizabeth is a great example.
It's a special case. We are talking about, for example, the business.
You think what she does is easy? Have you? I mean, I can't talk really right now. There are cameras around, but you think what she does is easy? Have you seen the movie The Queen?
This is not a job. This is it's.
Oh man, you are going to be in handcuffs, my friend. I'm not even entertaining that.
Yeah.
That woman works harder than any woman her age.
Yeah. Talking about her age, 86, she's 86. When you are 86, and let's assume today was your 86th...
I doubt I'll get there, but...
I'm sure you will,
anyway.
I'm sure you will, because... So when you are 86 years old, and we are supposed today is your birthday, and we all come to celebrate, what will you be saying about Ahmed Bin Sulayem? What have you done? What have you achieved? Where are you?
I'll just hold the mic and tell you guys, leave me alone. I'm 86-year-old. Let me go back to work.
But you just said you don't want to retire. I mean, I won't leave you alone.
Yeah, I'm going to work. I answered your question.
All right, so he'll still be working, 86. He's, any other questions, guys? Yes, ma'am. There's a lady at the back, please.
I think I opened the Pandora's box here, but anyway.
Thank you. Some years ago, there was a lot of talk about the common currency, the Khalifa, for the GCC countries, and for whatever reason, that fell through.
Talk about what?
A common currency.
Common currency.
Called what?
The Khalifa.
Why was it called the Khalifa, if you recall correctly? because people might think it's linked to UAE, is it the GCC currency?
Uh-huh.
So, like the euro. Okay, continue, please.
Okay. So, okay.
Said why
Do
did
you
it for-
see,
Yeah,
leaving
okay.
the name alone, let's talk about the common currency. Do you see a revival of talks for this in the future, considering that this would help the trading and commodities market by having a common currency?
Well, look, you have to put yourself in place of those countries. Qatar, Bahrain, our brothers there, and Kuwait as well. Probably the shrewdest country is Kuwait. Even after the war, it didn't affect their economy because they've diverse their investment all over the world. And when the dollar was going down, they didn't get affected because they have a basket of currency. Now you come back to the unified currency. What would you do if you're sitting in their place, looking at what's happening to the European community, and the euro is getting a beating the way it is, and getting a bad rap the way it is, and then not to say that the Arab world would do what's happened in, I guess, the UK or Europe with the LIBOR rigging and everything else. I mean, it's like they're not getting a chance. So I think, I can't really speak for them, but I think they are re-looking at this to do it better than what the euro is being handled. I don't think they'll have Belgium doing it for them, since it's printed everything in coins and all that. Actually, Belgium has one coin. You can Google it. On one side is something, but on the other side is a Smurf. I kid you not. Google that. It's there. They give everything to Belgium. So maybe I don't blame them, but I'm just saying, over here, who would do the printing? How it's distributed? That's among the central bank governors and the presidents of these countries. But I think they have a close eye at what China's doing, and they have a close eye at what Europe is doing. Right now, all eyes are at the bigger economy, the ASEAN market and China. Look at China. They got back Hong Kong, yet Hong Kong has its own currency. That wasn't that surprising, but that's how they want. They want, even though Hong Kong is part of China, you need a separate visa for Hong Kong. Yet Hong Kong can make it one visa. The other thing is, I was surprised to see a few days ago UAE playing against Hong Kong. I'm like, why isn't that China? But China it's so big that it has countries within countries. Now, the GCC don't look to the West anymore as much as it did. The pull that the West had doesn't exist as it used to. Is it their doing or not? That's for argument's sake. You can argue all you want about that. But we all know that Brazil, Russia, India, China, and now Africa play a huge role in how the world works. And whether it's a unified currency or not, it's not the top priority right now. They look at what's happening in Europe, and I mean, I think Turkey is happy that they didn't join the euro for some reason and have the issue with the currencies, because there are some challenges to that. They see what's happening to Greece, Greece and Cyprus, Spain as well, and the alternatives are not even easy as well. So it's a difficult situation in Europe. And actually now when they refer to markets, they talk about Europe as one country. That's never happened before. Germany might pull off, but again, it's not my place to talk about these things.
There was a question on this side, on this table. Oh yes, I beg your pardon, please. Quick, short question.
Good evening, sir. My name is Rakesh Rachwani from Compass Financial. My question to you is, you're looking at Expo 2020. How is the commodity exchange gearing up to that? And what would be your advice to all the SMEs looking forward for the 2020?
Well, I hope the Expo are ready for DMCC and the DGCX. We'll keep moving, and by the time Expo, not by the time Expo, by the year 2020, you'll have the expansion complete with the world's tallest office tower. Not far off the height of Burj Khalifa, but a very tall tower. That's all offices. But we weren't gearing up for the Expo 2020. It's just Dubai. It's in its DNA to keep moving, to keep progressing. If you read His Highness' book, My Vision, he refers to Dubai as the second coming of Cordoba from the Andalusian period. I visited Spain, in my mind, Andalusia, and and I looked at and I read the stories from multiple sources. There's one thing that's consistent with all downfall of economies or dynasties or whatnot, military or whatnot, is that it only breaks down when the mission and vision fares off. Adapting, progressing is one thing, but the reason that this city has been built, if that changes, then we have a problem. But the status quo is to keep progressing, keep building, keep innovating, and that's what Andalusia is. That's how His Highness wants it to be, and that's how we, as his employees, do. I mean, I heard from the MC, you have done this, you have done this. In reality, I'm following instructions to the point, and to the point means exceed his expectation. For Expo 2020, I think time will tell how it will be. I mean, you have already the largest man-made port in Jebel Ali, which is expanding now, I think 3 times the size for different activities. You have the new airport built, and you have more and more projects being built in Dubai. And you see some prices going up because of anticipation. Does everyone like it? I don't know. But what I know is I'm ready for it. Our members are looking forward to it. And Expo will benefit big time from Dubai in 2020 if it chooses Dubai, because this is the most diverse city the world has ever seen in terms of businesses and as a hub. That's how it started about 100 years ago or more, by lifting the duties from the merchants when Dubai was called, I guess by the Indians, Dubays, 2 bays. That's how it's named. The real name is Al-Wasl. That's how my grandfather called Al-Wasl Club Al-Wasl. And one of the entourage that Sheikh Ahmed Rashid sent to my grandfather asked, what is Al-Wasl? And my grandfather looked for the stick. If you don't know Al-Wasl now, what's left for the future? So people need to know that Dubai's name is Al-Wasl. It means hub. And it's in our DNA to be ready, whether the Expo chooses us or not. But on paper, results, and the way things are getting up, they'd be mad not to choose Dubai, given also the other options that they have. Dubai by far exceeds it all.
Yes, sir, please.
Icon and your dynamism personifies the mindset.
Can you repeat that? I didn't hear the first part. And lower your voice, I can hear you.
Okay. There's one practical problem that small companies like mine do face. We are registered in Dubai, LLC. We cannot have an office, say, for example, in JLT. I cannot operate in Abu Dhabi. I cannot operate in Fujairah unless I am registered there as well. So although it's a United Arab Emirates, in each emirate, if you have to register and pay 50,000, 60,000 on an yearly basis, it becomes a bit of a challenge. Is this a conscious move, or maybe is there going to be a change in this?
One license for one country?
I don't know. I mean, I cannot operate in Fujairah because I am registered in Dubai.
But why would we do something that the US doesn't do as well? The US, if you have a license in New York, you can't operate in California. And on top of that, my scope is only Jumeirah Lake Stars and DMCC. And if you have an LLC, you can open a branch with favorable rates and do your business from there, depending on your activity. And I need to know, what is your activity in the first place?
In my case, I'm a marine consultant.
You're what?
Marine consultant.
Marine consultant?
That's correct.
How many years?
Over 30 years.
Where's the problem?
In Dubai, yes, 14 years. In Dubai, in 14 years.
Okay, so Fujairah is the #2 largest bunkering port in the world. Fujairah is a big market for marine businesses, and they're looking to expand. They would like to have more in the port facilities. Abu Dhabi is looking to have a lot of Jebel Ali is there, even Western Abu Dhabi. The demand is there. The fees you talk about are completely irrelevant. And on top of that, I don't know any country where you can have one license and you can go to other states and use the same license. I don't know any country that does that. I think even in Saudi Arabia, if you have a license in Riyadh, you need a license in Jeddah. If you have a license in, even Oman, city to city, they have their own economic department. So it's not that we're waiting for someone else to open up and make it easier, but that's how it works. for these cities to, you have to register. It's not about the money really. It's about the registration and having the files and documents. It's not always about the money. But I have to repeat again, a lot of the world benchmark the US. So if in New York you have a license, you're not going to get that same license in Delaware. That's a different license, different rules and regulations. And in Sharjah, there are activities you can't do in Dubai. So you really need to look at this much closer than what you have just alluded to.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep. Any more, sir? You have an opportunity. It's not always so easy to have Mr. Ahmed so ready to answer your question. So please, any further, or is everybody just waiting for dinner?
Sam said he'll ask a question. Where's Sam?
Where's
He
Sam?
got bored and left. Sam Hassan. He left. Darli Capital left. Oh, there he is. Because they're looking to trade him, I believe. He's not happy to play with Dwight Howard. Kevin McHale tried to fix matters by having Dwight Howard the power forward and Omar Asik a starter and center. But again, he's not happy. He's not getting the touches he wants. So Kevin McHale is a no-nonsense coach. He seated this big paycheck of a big expensive player center, Omar Asik, and some lucky franchise is going to get him. Whether they give a lot of draft picks, I don't know, but we'll see where he lands. But if he lands in Miami, then Miami has a chance. But it will be a slower Miami, not a fast Miami.
What's the one thing?
Just
But
before you go
continue.
into...
I like this question.
You like this question?
Yeah.
One final, do you want to have a one-on-one
It's-
dialogue
it's
or a
commodity.
public dialogue?
No, we're here to spread awareness about
I
sports
just
and
wanted to know
basketball.
what's the one thing that you tell all Kobe haters?
What's
Anybody
that?
who has anything to say to Black Mamba, what's the one thing that you tell all the Black Mamba haters?
Eat your hearts out. He's made it. What else do you guys want?
Thank you.
You look
Thank
at
you.
his 2001. They only need to see. They look at his playoff when they swept the West Coast. One loss in the finals. 81 games. What else do you want? And he's still playing with the best of them. At 35 years old, he's embarrassing 22 years old. Why? He takes care of his health. He takes this game very seriously. It's not just a game. It is his job. It is his mission. It's a mental fitness. And you know what? Twice Michael Jordan has praised Kobe. Once when he said, who would play with you, who would you choose in your team? He says he'd always choose Kobe over LeBron. That's a stab into all Kobe haters. The second time, which is recent, he said, in my prime, I can beat anyone in my prime, except for Kobe, because I can't match his mental strength, his mental, what is it? What is the word? Because he's different, you know, he's ultra focused and ultra mental fitness. But you know what? He also said he copied all of Michael Jordan said he copied all of my moves. He also copied Dirk Nowitzki, Hakeem, all of them. He copies all the best moves. That's what you do in basketball. You don't go in basketball and you create your own game. You can't. You'll double dribble. You do stuff. So Kobe's a different type of monster that even Jordan says he can't beat him. So what more do people want?
Any final question? Non-basketball
Right, yeah.
or basketball?
Not cricket. I don't know anything about cricket.
Exactly. No, we have to ask cricket.
Okay.
We've got to...
No, don't ask me about cricket. Especially when I heard the 6 days game, or 3 days?
5 days.
5 days?
5 days. Good one.
Yeah, I'm sure.
No, just joking.
I'm sure it's good.
I think this is on another subject you like. I was curious to know that after being a Range Rover fan for so long, when the new one, when they claim that the capabilities have actually moved up, the new Range Rover,
Yes.
they claim that the capabilities have moved up, the wading height, and the performance and all that.
That's the
So
only
what
thing.
is that you didn't like about it?
Are you a Range Rover person?
Sorry?
Do you work for Range Rover?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Maybe he works for
I love
Tata.
cars.
I was disappointed because 5 years ago, or maybe 7 years ago, in Emirates Towers, they came and showed us the Range Rovers of 2014, 16, and what changes and what's important. And Saeed Al-Tayr, why did I call myself a Range Rover Series? But I got that from Saeed Al-Tayr. Why was I chosen? Because every 2 years I would buy a Range Rover. So much that I don't know how to drive a Salon. I could get in between cars and all that in Range Rover very easy. But we sat with them and we explained that you have to have the identity in place. Play around with technology, do some touches, but the Range Rover has to be recognized from a distance. It can't look like any other four-wheel. But right now, the king of the four wheels is the Mercedes Jeep, hands down. Now, even people who complained about suspension, that's no longer an issue. It's a beautiful setup, the Mercedes Jeep G-Class or G-Wagon. That's amazing. So especially after driving that car, I lost even more respect to the Range Rover. I looked at it and the price did not fit. They added, what, 200, 150,000? For what? For letting us down with this new one? And after sitting with us and explaining, they had a lot of funny designs with the lights going down, the face looking like the Audi a little bit. They had all these ideas. We saw this in 2006. It was a secret meeting, which I get to say now, I guess. But that's a disappointment, that they moved away from what they are about. And I think they'll rectify it with the next model, which should take 3 to 4 years, I guess, every 4 years. So I'm not touching a Range Rover until that gets rectified. Maybe a G-Wagon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we'll call it a day now. We wanted to thank...
I will go to... can I do a parting speech? I promise 2 minutes.
Well, you can take as much time as you like.
And it will include me saying, I'll take any questions from the crowd.
Super.
Okay?
Please,
you
please,
can
sir.
go to your wife and sleep. And
no, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere.
I know. We know who's the boss at home. Thank you for being so patient. I actually thought maybe half of you would leave like I would. I sneak out of these matters. I'd be thinking what an egotistical executive that is. Keep talking, mumbling and all that. But I'm humbled by your presence. And it's a weekday. It's not even a weekend. Maybe that's also more difficult on a Thursday night. Depends on who you are. I need to point out something. If you go through the teachers if they're still around, some are from Russia School for Boys at least, they will tell you Ahmed was a non-existent person in class, kept to himself, barely gets a C every class, barely gets through every year. Same as college as well. Going to the States, I never wanted to leave Dubai. Being an extreme introvert, not necessarily to say I'm not sociable, but I'm too introverted. And the books that were given to us, it's all about extroversion. It wasn't the case. 30 years ago, the world was introverted. So, out of every 3 people, there are, I think, 2 introverts who need to adapt. And you need to understand where you fall in that line. So I have to remind you again, what's transpired in DMCC, where I stand, this opportunity would not exist if it wasn't for the consistent faith and confidence that His Highness actually stated on day 1 of the announcing of DMCC after his visit, that His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, has full faith in the management, and that faith never changed, even during the credit crunch, even during the recession. We as being creditor or not, that's besides the point. It never, even though people were talking, it's too many free zones, too many this, but DMCC had a different story. And for me, I know how it feels to be on the other side, on the failing side. Because, believe it or not, half my life, it was always on the failing side. So I never want to be on that side. And even if I am going to fail in something, do it with grace and move with it. So really, don't think for 1 minute I take 1 day in DMCC in the last 12 years for granted. I do know why I'm there, how I got there. Maybe the door opened, but the door shuts really fast when you don't deliver, much faster than others. So bear that in mind. And I will walk around, meet you all. I love to network, and any more questions, I'm here all night. All right, thank you. Elizabeth doesn't work. Are you kidding?
That applause almost kept going, didn't it?
Charles, 1%.
We've heard from him on several fronts, but nothing beats Mr. Sulayem's knowledge on basketball and sports. I think a lot of football fans here. We'll just get a quick comment from you, sir. Mr. Sulayem, what is the best football team you like? I know I asked you this when I met you.
Okay, yeah, I love that question.
Your favorite player?
Favorite player is Cantona. Especially that, of course, the kick. He confused that fan for football. No. I love watching Real Madrid lose. No, I love Man United so much that for the last, since '96, all video games I play, I'm always choosing Man United. I cannot choose any other team. I can't even beat my friends with Barcelona. I can beat them with Man United because I know where players are at, what they'll do, and I hope the new coach goes on the steps of Sir Alex Ferguson, but that's how much of a Man United fan I am. I had even pressure from local friends, switch to Man City because it's, UAE, Ittihad. I said, guys, I cannot jump from one team to another. Let's say Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed sells it. What then? I don't flip-flop. Just like in DMCC. I've never worked really in a government. I was a director in Astico. But once I joined DMCC, I see it through all the way. And I hope His Highness gives me the opportunity to put in more efforts into DMCC. And just like 3 years ago when we were 3,600 companies, I promised His Highness that in 2013 we will be double that number. And friends, colleagues, family, my father pleaded with me, say 2014 for good. I said no, 2013, and we passed 7,200. Like we're nearing over 8,000. Aim for the impossible to make a difference. Aim for number one. His Highness loves to aim for number one because if you aim for number two, you're not relevant. You don't make significant matters. So I aim for above number one to get to number one or whatever the strong efforts are. But yeah, it's Man United, and in Dubai, of course, I follow wherever Sheikh Mohammed goes. So obviously, it's Al Ahly club. Thank you.